and good evening. My name is Michael. This is Nathan and Chase, and we are the Cornfed Coverage podcast where we talk all things college and NFL football. And we're just gonna hop right into things, fellas. First off, let's go ahead and recap that Skurs game that we just witnessed last weekend. And I will go ahead and let the ball knower Chase Searcy start us off.
Yeah, great win off the bye. It's one that we needed. Get momentum for the rest of the season. Kind of a weird game, though, I'll say, especially those first three quarters. I know it was super windy, which was leading into it, but in the third quarter, Rail only had 38 passing yards. We went up 14-0 really fast, and it kind of had this vibe of a Husker game of the past. We're up 14-0 right away, and slowly but surely, Michigan State's coming back. They're getting dumb calls that are going against us, going their way. Before we know it, it's 21-14 Michigan State. I was watching the game with my girlfriend and a roommate, and I'm telling them, I'm like, we're losing this game. Like, it was all-time low vibes. I'm like, everything is not going our way, especially after that Royal interception. But I don't know, something about this team, the fight that they showed to not only win that game, but to win convincingly. I just saw a lot of fight, a lot of heart, and our special teams has gone from one of the worst, one of the best. So, what can happen if you get the right guy in the right position for the right job? Um, Overall, I'm really excited after this game. I don't know about you guys. I got a lot of positive vibes going into Maryland, and I'll kick it off to you, Nathan.
Yeah, I really agree with you on that because although our offense did kind of just disappear during the second and third quarter of the game, um, defense showed up when it mattered. Deshaun Singleton, he had 6 tackles, 2 picks. We had special teams. They're performing so much better than they have in years past. Kyle Keenan, he's 7 of 8 on field goal attempts this year. 27 of 27 on extra points. It's been a while since we haven't had any kicking issues. Knock on wood, per se. But yeah, I really like the resiliency the guys showed. And one thing I would like to see is just the O-line needs to keep Dylan clean, but also Dylan needs to get the ball out a little bit quicker. Um, he got sacked 5 different times in the game, and 2 of them that I counted were just because he held the ball for too long. Um, I think he's had a season behind a similar type of O-line, but I was initially very brash and cutthroat to the O-line, but I would like to say after rewatching it and watching it with a calmer mind, I will say that the O-line performed fairly decent. Dylan was at fault, but also they called a pretty good defensive game. Um, you know, I think that this team again, we're right there. I feel like again we can turn the corner. But yeah, really positive win, showed fight, gritty. Um, Hopefully we can learn from it and come out this weekend really firing. What about you, Michael?
So just like Chase said, when we went down that 21-14 score, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go again." And obviously the boys proved us wrong. But I'm just gonna kind of start at the beginning of the game and kind of just work through kind of what happened. Obviously, Nebraska going up 7-0 to start was huge, and then um, our defense was showing bright in that first quarter, uh, forcing that blocked punt by Jameer Khan and Carter Nelson picking it up, scooping and scoring that touchdown to go up 14-0, and it was only still like 4 minutes into the first quarter. Is crazy. I don't know if we've gone up 14-0 that fast in a game in a while. So that was weird. But then Nebraska's offense was kind of quiet up until that third quarter, because Michigan State and Aiden Childs were able to drive down the field, go and score that touchdown where Aiden Childs just runs it in. But we cannot shy away from Deshaun Singleton snagging those 2 picks in the first half of the game, because who knows what could have happened moving forward if that didn't happen, with Aiden Childs being able to still score on the ground instead of through the air. Uh, I know we only allowed 86 pass yards by Childs, and Childs threw 2 picks as well. I think he also threw like 9 of 21, so it wasn't great, and it was a windy day in Memorial too, because that wind was gusting up to 30 miles an hour. And with how Memorial is, I mean, we've all heard how kickers struggle when it's super windy in Memorial, just because the stadium's built like a bowl. So once that wind enters it, it kind of just swirls around in that south north end zone too. And we've heard quarterbacks say after games, that wind is brutal, or, I really struggled being able to pass that ball. But mainly it's like OCs and DCs that bring it up, because opposing quarterbacks won't just straight up say, oh, yeah, it was super windy. But besides the point, with Michigan State being able to go up 21-14, I also know Nebraska's offense was without the ball for 30 minutes in that first half, um, which was super weird. But Michigan State was able to operate those long drives throughout the game. Um, I don't really know. I was gonna look up the time of possession for that game
Yeah, I
because I
think because we
don't.
had that blocked punt that they had the ball twice in a row there. So I do
Yeah,
think our offense got a little out of rhythm for not having the ball for a while there, but
let's see.
They disappeared.
So Michigan State had the ball for 33 minutes and Nebraska had it for 26. So it must have just been that blocked punt that really ate up the time of possession for Michigan State, honestly. Um, I also wanted to bring up a good point. Our defense only allowed 86 yards of rushing, which I don't know if Nebraska's defense has held an opponent to under 100 yards rushing, besides like Houston Christian or Akron. But even then, uh, from how much the fan base was grilling the offensive line after that Michigan game, um, I would say our O line, like you said, Nathan, played a lot better than they played that Michigan game. That bye week must have been really good for them. Um,
They played a lot better than they initially got credit for.
yeah, and I agree. I agree with that, because I also went back and watched just like the full highlights of the game, um, and taking a look at it with a clearer mind, like you said. Our left side of the offensive line significantly improved, though Dylan Raiola still got sacked 5 times, with 3 of those being credited because of our line. Um, but then Daniel Holgerson also agreed with your point, Nathan. There were like 2 sacks that were on Raiola just because he held the ball on for too long. And Raiola even said that too. And I mean, you and I were watching the game with one another over at our parents, and you and I both agreed there were a couple of sacks that were in fact Raiola's fault just because he held on to the ball too long. But
Yeah, in the Big Ten, you just can't afford to do that.
no,
Not against the defensive lines and the athletes at programs like any notable Big Ten team has athletes in their football team.
on
They're
Michigan's
good athletes.
Yeah. On the Michigan State's D line, obviously not as good as Michigan's, but they weren't a bad D line by any means. So it was still a good test for our offensive line. Um, but that Maryland defense is going to be something our O line hasn't seen in a while. So, but we can talk about that later. My last note, or I guess my last 2 notes, Emmett Johnson, even though I don't think he totaled over 100 yards that game, still scored 3 touchdowns. And on at least 2 of those touchdowns, they were longer than 20-yard rushes. That isn't something we've seen from Emmett Johnson in a little bit either, especially in Big Ten play, being able to make a 5-yard run into a 20-yard touchdown, or with Isaiah Hunter's screen, being that 56-yard screen wide receiver screenplay was schemed magnificently by Holgerson, and our O line actually got out there and blocked for Isaiah, and I
He did it
think
with one shoe also.
yep. And I think Heinrich had a huge block on the edge to set that, or it might have been Dayton Key to get Isaiah out there. I'm not sure.
So did Elijah Pritchett.
He did, yeah. And like that's great to see from our offense. Being able to see the physicality there too, because I don't know, Chase. That I didn't foresee that wide receiver screen going for a 56-yard tutty,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Isaiah reached 21.3 miles per hour on that run as well.
Like you
So,
said, our wide receivers, they come to block. Like I see them out
mhm.
there and they hold their blocks. It's nice to see.
On Holgerson also mentioned in his post-game press conference, Dane Key didn't see the ball at all, but he was doing great perimeter blocking and holding his blocks out there. Nebraska's receivers have struggled with doing that in the past as well, especially on wide receiver screens. All three of us have seen during the Scott Frost era those wide receiver screens. 75% of the time were blown up and never went for that far of yardage. So there are positives to take away from this game, and we won. We walked away 4-1. We didn't let another
It
team.
wasn't a bad Michael. It wasn't a bad game. It
No,
was a good game.
no. I've just seen a lot of people ranting about our own line on X and saying some not so good things, and I'm like, if we look at it in the grand scheme of things, they played better than they did against Michigan. Because I think
I agree with you.
if we played Michigan State, or if we played Michigan the way we played Michigan State, I think we would have had a better shot at beating Michigan, personally. But, beggars can't be choosers, and that's just up in the air at that point.
And I think
Um,
people forget how like windy it actually was during this game. I think it affected a lot of it and kind of why it was a weird game for a while there.
mm-hmm. On was, do you guys know what Riola's longest throw of the game was? Or because I know
Would
the
it be that
longest
wide
touchdown
receiver
was that.
screen? I know
Yeah,
that's not
but
air yards longest, but
yeah, I that'd be an interesting to see. That'd be an interesting stat to see how far like his longest pass through the air, because I don't really remember too many long bombs through the air, but we still had big play potential happen.
and he ended
So
with almost 200 yards when he only had 38 in the third quarter. So we really turned it
wow.
up there.
On another
Clutch Gene.
did you guys see Horgerson mention how, and Rule also mentioned this, how Raiola throughout the game up until that third quarter Ja'Cory Barney play, he was just getting more and more frustrated throughout the game. And I had also noticed that in this game Raiola was showing his frustration more often than not. Like, he threw his helmet, he was just more, I don't know. It looks like he had a fire lit under him in that
He was
third quarter.
fired up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you get hit 5 times and you're down to a team you shouldn't be.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
And he threw that
that's a game we
interception.
had.
It wasn't a good interception, but to see him come back after that and fight.
Yeah. On
Resiliency.
Was Memorial booing Nebraska, or more so the offensive line play at half, or was
I
it
wasn't
more
at
so
the
booing?
game.
No, I just heard it when we were watching the game.
I might have missed it. I didn't know any booing going on or anything, but
I heard booing at half, but I didn't know if fans were booing the refs or booing the players. Because yes, I know players are getting paid NIL money, and the fans deserve to see a good product, but they're still college athletes and college students with lives outside of the game. So, yes, you can be frustrated and be agitated if you are, but don't go out of your way to tweet at players like, hey, play better, or cuss at players, because that's not the Nebraska fan base, or at least that's not what it should
I mean,
be.
and we won the game too. They should be
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. And I agree with
Yeah.
that, but I just thought I'd bring that up and address it just because I've seen it out there, and, you know, players are still people, and they deserve to be treated like one too. So, but
Well, with that, there was a game that I watched over the weekend that I'd like to talk about, and it was Alabama beating Vanderbilt 30 to 19, 30 to 14. Sorry, excuse me. Ty Simpson, he's really looking like he could be the best quarterback in the country. He's playing like it right now. Like they didn't start out very hot. I will say Vanderbilt went up 7-0, and then Vanderbilt fumbled at the end of the first quarter, and that's what gave Alabama the shot to kind of creep back into the game and slowly build momentum. But it was a little sloppy, not gonna lie. But at least at first. But then Alabama turned it on. Kalen DeBoer kicked it into gear, and they kind of just never looked back. The running back, Jam Miller, had 22 carries for 136 yards and a touchdown. But the real running back, who I think looked, a bit better, was actually the Vanderbilt running back, Cedric Alexander. He had 4 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown, and he broke a really long run. So the key takeaways here is that I think that this game kind of puts Ty Simpson a little bit higher up in the Heisman conversation. And I think that, Diego Pavia and the team, they have to be able to move the ball down the field to contend in the SEC. So if they want to be, even have a shot at the playoff or any postseason real hopes, they're going to have to figure it out. But Bama also had their top 2 wide receivers average 13.3.5 yards per catch, both going over 80 yards. So it's pretty good. When you have an athlete like Ryan Williams, it's pretty hard to not get the ball down the field.
yeah,
But also Bama went 4-4 in the red zone, and I think that when you do that, when you make sure that you're punching in the drive and not settling for a field goal or settling for a field goal and missing said kick or going for it and missing, I think that bodes well in a close game like that. Did you guys have a chance to catch it?
Yeah, I saw it, and Bama coming back from that Florida State loss. I, for one, was kind of out on them. Like I was saying on here, I was like, they might be a 9-win team at best. Little did I know, I might think they're the best team in the SEC right now, and they may win the SEC. But yeah, I thought Bama looked good. They controlled the game. I'm not out on Vandy by any means. I just think they ran into a good Bama team at Bama, and they wanted the revenge from last year. So, yeah, good win for Bama. Vandy, no room for error now. They got to fight the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen DeBoer gets those hard Alabama fans to stop talking about hot seat.
I don't know about that.
I don't think
It's still a long season to go.
I mean, yeah, but
win
beating
helps.
Vandy decidingly,
Beating Georgia helped too.
yeah,
But also they still have quite a ways to go in the season. And I think that
yeah,
just the SEC, they really might cannibalize themselves come playoff decisions.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I feel like the SEC has a lot of teams that are similar, like Bama, Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, Florida just beat Texas.
LSU.
Like, they can all just LSU, Ole Miss. They can all
Yeah,
be
Ole Miss looks
Yeah,
good too. They just beat the Tigers
Nobody's
not too long
talking
ago.
about Ole Miss either.
Oh, and
It's
Missouri.
just-
I should have mentioned
Yeah,
them too.
yeah.
14.
We'll see what happens to them after this week.
That's gonna be a fun game to watch, though.
But yeah.
And that's actually a perfect segue for you, Chase. Go ahead and talk about the game you'd like to talk about, brother.
Yep, Missouri, Bama. I'll just do quickly, just do some other things for week 5 or week 6. I might be off on the weeks too, but UCLA beat Penn State. I wasn't even really paying attention to it because it was on the same time as the Nebraska game. Just every once in a while, I was kind of get on the ESPN or my DraftKings, just kind of look at my bets and the scores, and I'm like, oh, UCLA, they're winning. Oh wait, they're still winning. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, UCLA, huge win. And then the other game that I paid attention to before the Husker game was Cincy Iowa State. Cincy went out, huge lead. Sorsby looked great, which is shout out to the Black Shirts defense because Sorsby, Childs, they've had some big games, but not against us. They can't even get to 100 passing yards.
Even Bryce Underwood too.
Yep, him too. But yeah, Cincy looked really good. The final score kind of made it seem closer than it actually was, but Cincy's offense is kind of a powerhouse right now. I know Iowa State was dealing with a couple injuries on defense, but I think Cincy looks pretty good.
I agree with you on that.
At least their offense.
I also wanted to talk about that UCLA Penn State game. I pulled up the stats. Take a wild guess at the total yardage that Nico Lamaliava had. Total, both rushing and passing.
I know he rushed for like 130.
He rushed for over 160 yards,
Was
I
it
think.
160? I know they ran him a lot when I was looking at the box score. Was it like 330? 350?
I'm going to guess 389.
Is it like 200 passing yards, 160 rushing?
So, Lamaliava threw for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns, ran for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. He combined for a total of 5 touchdowns, including 3 on the ground. Like, it was his coming out game, I guess, against Penn State.
So how many yards did he have?
In total, he had like 294. 294
so under total. 5 touchdowns, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, they converted in the red zone all 5 times, which kind of led to them winning the game in a way. If they had to settle for a field goal once, who knows what's going to happen.
Drew Aller didn't have the greatest of games either. I mean, he didn't fumble.
James Franklin can't beat the fraud allegations.
No, he cannot. But Drew Aller didn't have
Penn State can make the playoffs now with a lot. With that being one of them, I don't know. If they went out,
2 losses.
But
Oregon might be one of the best teams in the country, but UCLA is not.
No, but
they are far from it.
But also, Penn State beating Ohio State down the road, I don't think would even help their case because that one loss would be, or the second loss would be to UCLA, and the college football playoff committee.
I think if they beat an Ohio State team on the road, that definitely bolsters their playoff potential. But if they drop a game to the Huskers at home, who knows?
You're not wrong.
They're probably going to lose to us and Ohio State.
But I think if Penn State were to beat Ohio State, I don't think that would do much, just because that college football playoff committee is going to look at that other loss, and it's going to be to UCLA.
As I think of him, I think if they went out, they'd make it. Just because of what we were talking about, like the SEC is probably all going to kind of cannibalize themselves. So if you're 10-2, probably are going to make it.
10-2, I think, gets you in. Just like what we were saying for the Huskers at the beginning of the year. If we go 10-2, I think we get consideration to be in the playoff.
Yeah, but we would have a loss to Michigan and USC Penn State, one of the two.
I mean, I'm a lot more confident going into Penn State than I was a week ago. I will say that now.
But like I was saying, Drew Aller,
it can be done.
Drew Aller only passed for 200 yards and 2 TDs, and he rushed for 78 yards. So he didn't have a terrible game by any means.
What was his completion percentage?
He's 19 of 26. He averaged 7 yards a throw.
That's not bad.
Did they have a bunch of turnovers? I didn't see the game at all.
Penn State had a total of 3 fumbles, but only lost 1. That was the one turnover in the game.
Dang.
So the fact that
I think that they lost this ball game because Oregon broke them. Their game last week against Oregon was very, very important in laying that foundation of them getting over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Oregon. Dana Lanning took their spirit, took their soul in overtime at home during a whiteout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that they will bounce back, but I do not think that they could have lost to New Mexico this week.
well,
Yeah.
and Penn State was also dealing with a 3-hour time change, and I believe they got there Friday night before the game, or that Friday before the game.
I would assume they probably
Oregon dealt
traveled
with the
early to
3-hour time
practice.
change when they went to Penn State, so
Yeah, you're
Goes
not
both
wrong.
ways.
You're not wrong. You are not. And James Franklin choke job city. He he's not beating
That's
the
just brutal.
he's not
yeah.
beating the
I feel
fraud
bad for
allegations
him.
right now.
I think it's one of the
Hmm.
most surprising losses that I can remember in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there. That's for
What
sure.
This is a
was
UCLA
Penn
team that
State's
lost 34-10 to New Mexico.
right? Right.
Yeah, since three
Without a
weeks
head,
ago.
it was Ricky Newhousel. He was coaching his first ever game. It was the first time he'd ever used a headset before. So he admitted
Yes.
during the press conference that like he was pushing the wrong button when he would like try and talk to Nico before that 15-second play clock. And so like in his press conference he was like talking about all the struggles he was having like mid game. And the man is coaching against the like top 5 team in the nation for his first ever college football game as a head coach. And he's an interim head coach at that. So like I thought it was really cool. And another even cooler part is Newheisel had played quarterback for UCLA back in the day when he was a college quarterback. And his dad was actually like he wasn't reporting on UCLA Penn State, but he was like in CBS Sports like
Mm-hmm.
sports analyst coverage of covering all
Yeah,
the
I think I
games.
saw that video on X.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was a really cool moment because his dad almost teared up live on TV watching his son beat a top 5 team for his first ever coached game. So I thought that was a really cool. Like it sucks for James Franklin, but it's really cool to see that transpire. Because imagine he was a position coach, and his first ever game he puts on a headset is against James Franklin in the Penn State Nittany Lions. God, I can't talk that fast. Uh, but I thought there was a lot to unpack in that game and a lot of cool storylines and some not so cool storylines for the Penn State side. Um, and then the one other game that I wanted to just address really quick was that Texas Florida game with Florida upsetting Texas and Arch Manning at home. Um, and you know them being 2-3 now instead of 1-4 is huge for Billy Napier and the Gators, and they get to battle back and this week try and get back to even after starting 1-3. So props to the Gators for defending the swamp against a tough Texas defense. And I just want to see
Yeah, and one thing about
Lagway
the
threw for 2
Gators too,
touchdowns and a pick and almost 300 yards. So
Gators only have one SEC loss. They're not. Who knows what they could still do this year? Because they've
do you
lost
They're
to
think
South
alive.
do
Florida and
you
Miami.
think they could make a run too?
I
Potentially?
don't.
It's a long shot. It's a
Yeah,
long shot.
it's a long shot, but they only
But
have
they are
one SEC
alive.
loss,
They're alive.
so they could win
Yeah,
the
they're
SEC.
alive right now. It all comes down to conference play for them.
If they didn't throw
Mm-hmm.
5 interceptions against LSU, maybe they would have won that game.
They
Right.
probably could have.
Because they only lost 20-10, right? That
Yeah.
LSU game?
Tigers just don't look very good,
No.
No,
or haven't up to this point.
Yeah.
their offense
They're
looks
kind
very
of
underwhelming.
yeah, Garrett Nussmeier seems to be sputtering, or more
They
so
can't run the
LSU's
ball at all.
offense. No. In the
But with
SEC,
that,
lem-
yeah.
in the SEC, you have to be able to run the ball to be able to win games. But
Yeah.
go ahead, Nathan. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I was just gonna start talking about Huskers, Maryland this week.
Yeah. Let's do it. What are your thoughts?
So I kind of watched a little bit of the game against Washington that they played last week, and they gave up 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter to lose to Washington. So, they can definitely throw it. They can air it out, that's for sure. Malik Washington's a pretty solid quarterback. He's only thrown 2 picks all year. But going up against the number 1 ranked pass defense in the country, I don't know how that's going to go. I will say that I think that our secondary is going to come ready to play. We do have a slight time jump that we got to deal with going out to the East Coast, but I don't think that it's going to really be a big factor. Again, one thing I'd like to see is I want us to keep Dylan clean. Keep him clean, keep him upright. He needs to make fast and quick, precise decisions. And as long as we do that, get the ball to the playmakers, we'll win this football game. I think some of our key defensive, or some of the defensive players who have been coming into their role this season, like Williams Norney, Desan McCullough, I think that they're in for good games this week.
Andrew
If
Marshall.
they can hold up, oh yeah, he's been playing like a stud. Deshaun Singleton, the 2-pick game last week, he, 8-ball has been playing like a dog.
He's making those handicapped people stand up out of the chairs.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But I think that as long as our defense comes ready to play, we're going to win the ball game. My prediction is going to be 28-17. Huskers win.
I like that.
And cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Michael?
Oh.
Go ahead, Chase.
Sorry,
No,
Chase.
go ahead. Fire
Go
away,
ahead.
brother.
Either way works. But yeah, Maryland, they're kind of an interesting team right now. They're one, they've played Wisconsin and Washington so far in the Big Ten. And obviously, like Nathan was saying, they were up 20-3 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and then everything went haywire on them. They got a young freshman quarterback that I don't think a lot of people have heard about. He's pretty good, is what I'll say for a freshman. He's looked good against Washington for 3/4 of the game, and then he looked good during the Wisconsin game too. But luckily, that kind of leads into our strength on defense. I think he may struggle against the Black Shirts' pass defense. And where Maryland can give up yards, I think Royal is going to be able to take advantage with on our side. I think this is a good matchup for us. I agree a lot with Nathan. I'm going to go 34-20 Nebraska.
Heck yeah.
There we
One
go.
sidebar actually about that. One thing I have seen, or at least I feel like more often than not, their defense has been more so playing man to man because they can't get zoned down as good. For whatever reason, maybe they just don't have the correct personnel in the right spots. But for whatever reason, I think if it's man to man, our wide receivers are going to eat there. I think Ja'Cory and Isaiah. I think even
Dane Key.
Emmett. Hell, I can't forget Dane Key. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Even the tight ends, Luke Lindenmeyer. I think that some of them are going to have solid games. But if we can just create explosive plays, it's pretty hard to lose a game that way.
Do you know what the weather's supposed to be? Because it's a 3:30
I have not
game.
looked.
Is it a 3:30 game?
Yeah.
2:30, I believe.
3:30 Maryland,
3:30 our time.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, whoops.
I can see if I can look it up here while you start, Michael.
I was just looking up what Washington's pass stats were against Maryland's defense. Demond Williams Jr. threw for 275 yards and 2 picks, or 2 touchdowns and a pick. And it really kind of boils down to, do you think Demond Williams Jr. is better than Raiola, or do you think vice versa, where Raiola is better than him? Because if they allowed Washington to throw for 275 yards, we have Dana Holgerson and Raiola and Isaiah, Ja'Cory, Dane, Emmett, Lindenmeyer, and even Harburg coming into Maryland. And depending on what Holgerson's plan for the offense is going into that game, we could potentially see Raiola throw for almost 300 yards and 3 TDs. But it kind of also depends on if, the gameplay situation that our offense might fall into.
like what's working and what is not working.
Right. So like let's say Ryla has a 50-yard pass, but it gets to Maryland's 10-yard line instead of a touchdown. Holgerson might say, you know what, we're at their 10. Let's see if we can get to the end zone in 3 runs since we're that close. Or who knows? Maybe he'll pull out a reverse, just like he did against Michigan State. But it's all going to be situational. And with that, our defense also needs to pack their bags and make sure they play well because like you guys said, Maryland's offense didn't do terrible. They had a 20-3 lead. It's just their defense kind of fell apart towards the end of the game. But like you said, Malik Washington, he threw for 219 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And they didn't really run the ball at all. They had 20 carries for 55 yards
Yeah, they were
throughout
averaging
that
less
game.
than 3 yards a carry. I
Yeah.
think they ran into a problem of trying to run out the clock, but they can't run the ball.
Yeah.
Which is why I think they may even struggle to, if they can't pass against us. I think they're going to struggle to run the ball against most Big Ten teams.
Yeah. Well, and I want our run defense to stay consistent this week because we held Aiden Childs and what wasn't Michigan State's running back like Malachi something? I don't know. We didn't allow Michigan State over 100 yards. We shouldn't allow Maryland over 100 yards rushing either. So, and like Nathan said, Williams Nawarni, Cade Pietrek, Andrew Marshall, Deshaun Singleton, and just most of our defense have been playing for the most part pretty well. As long as they can stay consistent against Maryland's offense and, contain Malik Washington, he didn't really run the ball much, so I don't know if John Butler is going to really hold a QB spy much, but Maryland also probably knows that we've struggled with, scrambling quarterbacks. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. Nebraska's favored -6.5 currently. I do believe we cover that, and I think Nebraska's going to win. I'm going to say 32-21, Nebraska. It's a little bit weird of a score because it's 32, but I think it's going to be at least by 11 or 10.
I like it. Call your shot.
So
I did look up the weather, and there is like a 50% chance it's going to rain during the game. Don't know how much, and it could obviously change a lot. So
maybe my score.
It could be a weird weather game again. I kind of hope not, though.
I hope not. I hope it's just like a clear afternoon, light breeze.
Maybe that'll make it so they really can't pass the ball then.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But moving forward off of that, it's going to be a big weekend for Nebraska. See if we can improve to 5-1. But
first
we don't want to
true road game too.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of scared of. But I can't doubt our players until we see the game.
Cincinnati was a road game.
That was not a.
Yeah, sorry.
Chase
it was an away game.
Chase was there, and there was maybe 5-10% Cincy fans in that.
Why
stadium.
does Cincy have more votes than us when we beat them on the road?
They just have a better win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a win over a ranked opponent. That's the only reason they are getting more votes. Even though we beat them head to head.
We also have a
loss to Nebraska, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a quality team nowadays.
We have a quality loss to Michigan.
Yeah.
And Michigan's still pushing top 15 now, aren't they? I think they're 14.
Yeah, I think they're 15 right now.
Yeah, and I guess.
But they've got USC this week.
I was going to say that too. Kind of leads into this weekend. I'm excited for the Michigan USC game, to be honest. I'm excited to see
that's going to be close.
How they match up against each other. Kind of two different offenses. One that's going to want to air it out, and one that's going to keep it on the ground.
Is it at Michigan?
It's at USC.
No, it's in
at USC.
Yep. It's in
USC
LA.
USC's a 2.5-point favorite, so I guess the odds makers have them a little above Nebraska since we were slight underdogs to Michigan.
It's a sellout.
Is it?
Like actually?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And I saw a clip of Sharon Moore saying, yeah, it's only sold out because Michigan's coming to town. But then the USC head coach responded and he said, yeah, we don't pay attention to any of that. So we'll see what happens. But
Lincoln Riley?
That actually leads us.
Yeah,
Still the head
Lincoln
coach
Riley's
for USC?
still at USC,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Lincoln
sure.
Riley's still the head coach.
He didn't look like Lincoln Riley, so might have to fact check who that was. But that actually leads us perfectly into this next segment of the week, the loaded slate we got this week. You know, I've got the Red River rivalry. Oh my gosh.
Whoa, Nathan.
Red River rivalry that I'd like to talk
We can still
about.
call it the Red River Shootout too, even though they changed it.
Yeah, it'll always be the shootout to me. Sorry, that was the NCAA speaking through me.
Screw the name change.
But, you know, I think that if John Mateer plays this week, which everything that I've heard and read points to him starting, granted, I actually haven't heard from a doctor yet, but the Chipotle worker that took his order said that John told him he's playing. And I think that when a player says that in a rivalry week, like where there's deep hatred between Oklahoma and Texas, the border battle, I think that your stars are going to want to play. You know, Oklahoma's defense is top 5 in damn near every stat, or at least the top stats for defense. They are second in scoring defense, 5th in rushing, 2nd in passing, and they are 1st in best yards allowed. I think that might give Arch Manning some struggles, just because they've looked a little slow against teams not named Sam Houston State. But I do think that it'll be a good game. I've got Oklahoma winning over Texas, 21-17. It's going to be fairly defensive. I think that Arch will get his licks, sure, but if Mateer plays, Oklahoma's going to win the football game. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty in line with you. If Mateer plays, I'm going to go with Oklahoma. If he doesn't play, I'm going to go with Texas, just to make that known. But yeah, I think it's also going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. I think Mateer will make a couple plays, maybe with his legs on a 3rd and 8 or something to extend a drive. I'll go 24-21, Oklahoma in a close one.
Nice.
As long as Mateer plays, I'm sitting right at that 21-17 look.
Perfect. You're right on me, twin.
Yep.
That's right where I'm laying, because Texas still has a good defense. I mean,
yeah, they've got a good defense. It's just not Oklahoma's defense right now.
DJ Lagway just put on 29 points on them.
But to be fair, Oklahoma's played Auburn and Michigan. And that's not to knock Auburn, but I do think Michigan is probably the best team they've played so far. This will probably be the best after this week.
Do you think the quarterback that they're going up against is better or worse than Bryce Underwood?
I don't know. Bryce is just a little at least more.
Bryce looks really good. Bryce looks way more mobile.
He looks like he's comfortable.
When Bryce had the ball in his hands, the offense wanted to just go. Mm-hmm. And whether that's on the ground or in the air, I think that he got it done with both, and he showed it. But Arch Manning, he looked good in shades last year. He's looked not as good this year throughout, I would say, as a whole. But that's not to take anything away from him. He's still had a decent season so far. So I would say as of right now, yeah, Bryce Underwood has looked better than Arch Manning up to this point. But that could be subject to change.
Right.
The season still has a long ways to go.
But 2 completely different offenses, too. I was just kind of wanted to get
2
your
different
guys'
quarterbacking
opinion.
styles.
Yeah.
I would say they're different
Arch, for the
types of
most
quarterback.
part, kind of stays in the pocket. He can move.
Yeah.
Not that he's not a runner.
He's more of like a Brock Purdy-esque.
Yeah.
And where,
Bryce Underwood is almost like a tad smaller Cam Newton or something.
I'd almost compare him
or
to Tua.
similar to Josh Allen.
With the running,
not quite Tua.
With the running aspect, because Tua scrambled a lot in college, not as much.
I would say more so Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
more
that'd
so.
probably be a better comparison.
Tua, for the most part, kind of stays in the pocket, but he can run.
Or I would say like the beginnings of a Lamar Jackson-esque. Not quite the rushing ability, but maybe slightly better passing ability at this point in time.
I'm pretty
than where Lamar was at his freshman year.
I'm pretty sure Lamar still has the rushing record at Louisville as well.
That would not surprise me
No.
at all. He was a dog in college.
Yeah,
That's why he's got the Heisman.
It's hard comparing any quarterback to him while in college, like Bryce Underwood or Arch Manning. Then again, both quarterbacks are sophomore. Bryce Underwood's a true freshman. Arch Manning's a sophomore. But I don't know. It's going to be a fun game to watch. It's named the Red River Shootout now.
Red River.
That's what it was called. That's what I called it. It's the sponsored name.
Gotcha. Just a giant cash grab.
But what about you guys? Did you guys have any games you were looking at this weekend?
Go ahead, Chaser.
Yeah, the game besides the Husker game, that I'm most excited for is probably Bama, Missouri. Missouri's always kind of been a second favorite team of mine, even though they used to be a rival of ours when we were in the Big 12. But they got a big matchup here. Bama's coming to Missouri. Missouri is coming off a bye week, which I think is going to help them here. And even before the bye week, they played UMass. So they've kind of almost had 2 weeks off. They've been preparing for Bama. Bama's been playing not at Vandy, but at Georgia. They had Vandy come in, 2 ranked teams, 2 big games. I think Missouri could get this done at home. They got a dynamic quarterback who can run and pass. He transferred from Penn State. Maybe
it's
Penn
Bo
State's
Pribula.
letting Bo
Say
go.
his name.
Sorry, what'd you say?
It's Bo Pribula, Chase. Say his name.
Bo Pribula.
There we go.
I did say Bo, by the way.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
But yeah, and then Ahmad Hardy, their dynamic running back. He's a beast. He's like top 10, I think, in Heisman odds. He's up there. So Missouri's offense is dynamic. I think Ty Simpson and Bama, Ryan, they're going to be able to score, but
they got that dog in them.
Give me Missouri in a shootout. Give me Missouri 38-35, and they're going to storm the field. It's an 11 a.m. game, so right before the Husker game, if you guys want to watch a field storming, turn into Missouri-Bama.
Oh, Lordy.
What about you guys?
I'm going to go.
Missouri can get it done?
Hell yeah, I do. I'm riding. I chose them as a team in one of my hardest dynasties. So, like, Bo Pribula, Ahmad Hardy, their star wide receiver's name is something Terry. Something Terry.
Yeah.
But besides the point.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I am on the opposite side here. I think that Alabama, Ty Simpson, they've shown us outside the Florida State game. They're here. They're hungry. Kalen DeBoer wants to keep his job. Losing to a Missouri team is not how you do that. He's got kids to feed, Chase. I'm going to go Alabama money line. I don't like the points. I think it'll be close. Defense, it will be interesting to see kind of what defense shows up, because even against Vanderbilt, they sputtered a little bit. But they had a sloppy start. They just missed a field goal even. I think that you do that in a shootout, you're susceptible to lose. But I'm going to go Bama there. Give me Tide winning 48-42.
So you do think Missouri's defense is going to struggle a little bit?
Wow. That's a
Mm-hmm.
very high-scoring
I
game.
just think in the SEC this year, like there used to be like the Bama, Georgia, like they're way better than everyone else. Like of course they'd go into Missouri and just kill them. But this year, I don't know. They all just seem kind of even, and I'll just take the home team off a bye, and I'm a little biased, but
That's
Chase,
fair.
Chase, I'm
At
riding.
least you admit it.
Chase, I'm riding with you. I think Missouri wins 28-21.
love it.
And
That's it. You
yeah,
think Alabama and Ty Simpson only scored 21 points?
it's in Columbia. It's a noon game.
Tony White's not calling defense, Michael.
I'm not, I know Tony White isn't calling the defense. Also, I wanted to correct myself. Missouri's leading wide receiver is Kevin Coleman Jr., and he's got 400 yards receiving. But
Sounds
another
like the
thing I wanted
Buffalo.
to say, Ahmad Hardy's going to rush for over 100 yards this game because he's rushed for over 100 yards in every single game this season for them.
He's a beast.
He
He's fun
is
to watch.
a beast. I think he might be, if Missouri can win this game and Ahmad Hardy totals 100 to 120 rush, or not rushes, holy fuck. 100 to 120 rush yards, I could see Ahmad Hardy cracking the top 5 of the Heisman.
Be cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to be defensive. I think that if you want to watch defense, watch Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah.
If you want to watch offense, watch Alabama, Missouri. But with that, Michael, did you have a game that you want to talk about this week?
You guys are forgetting one particular game this weekend, and that is Indiana versus Oregon. You guys got...
I saved it for you, buddy.
I appreciate it. You guys got Kurt Cignetti and Dan Lanning going up against one another. You got Mendoza and Dante Moore going up against one another. You also got just a great wide receiver battle and corner battle. So, personally, I think Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks are going to come out of there victorious, considering they also just beat Penn State, and Penn State has a more stout defense than Indiana as well. I do think it's still going to be a close game, just because you're going up against Kurt Cignetti, who just got done 2 weeks ago putting up 65 points on Illinois. So it's going to be a challenge, but I think Oregon's defense comes out victorious and kind of shuts Mendoza down. I think Oregon wins against Indiana, and I believe they win. I'm going to guess 38-21. Maybe 30.
I like that.
Maybe 38-28.
38-20.
I think that is a better score.
Final answer?
38-28.
Is it locked in?
Oregon. Locked in.
Lock it in.
It is locked in. But
Top 10 matchup in Eugene.
I like it.
That's also a night game, correct?
2:30.
They
I
are
wish
doing
it
the
could be a
Big
night
Ten
game,
disjustice this year.
Yeah,
They're on the West Coast.
I think
That'd be a
it's-
great midnight game to fall asleep to at the end.
I'll go Oregon.
I'm not falling asleep during that. I'm with you on that, Michael and Chase. Give me Oregon.
I'm only going to
I
go
think
Oregon
that-
28-24, though. I think Indiana might cover.
I'm going to go 36-32 Ducks.
I'm glad you guys
I
are
think
riding
that
with
there's
me
going to be a
on
little
that.
bit more offense than we're here.
I think Oregon's going to win the in the trenches, but maybe Indiana's quarterback can make enough plays to kind of keep them in the game.
Mm-hmm. It'll be similar to the Penn State game, I think. But I think that Oregon is a better team than Indiana, and I think that Dan Lanning is a better coach than Kurt Cignetti. And, I'd rather Google Dan Lanning than Kurt Cignetti.
I like that.
But with that, are there any other games you guys want to talk about for the college football slate this weekend?
I think I'm fine.
Nope. I'm all good. I'm all
All right.
good over here.
So with that, then let's go ahead and talk about the NFL slate that just occurred this last weekend. I know the one game I really cared about happened on Thursday night, and it almost gave me a stroke, but the Niners came out victoriously. As you can see, we are okay. We are 4-1, extremely banged up. I think that the Niners coming out on top and winning this last week, showing hunger for the win, hunger for retribution for all of the injuries we've had the last couple of years. Like, I think that they came out, the backups they were angry. They were pissed off. They were tired of playing because they're the backups, you know? Uh, I think that Christian McCaffrey is just a robot, but the defense stepped up. Salah stepped up. Sean McVay shriveled in the light. Um, Kyle Shanahan is the owner of Sean McVay, point blank. But it was a very close game, extremely undermanned, and we did what it took to win the game, and that's what I'm taking away from it. But did you guys get a chance to watch some Amazon Prime football?
Mac Jones did well.
Yeah, he did.
Mac Jones played really well. Offense ran smoothly through CMC, kind of catching and running the ball. And yeah, I was
surprised he didn't drop back.
I was like, this is when the Niners went up on their first drive, went right down the field, stopped the Rams. They went right down the field again to go up 14-0. I was like, this is a Kyle Shanahan masterclass going on right now, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. The Rams kind of got into a rhythm, but wasn't enough. They made too many mistakes, and the Niners got it done in overtime.
Yeah. One thing that was funny to me that I didn't mention was Kyren Williams, when he scored when we were up 14-0 to give them the first touchdown, he was taunting Lenore, walking into the end zone, high-stepping, and then pointing at him. And I think that Demo took that personally, because Kyren Williams also fumbled to give us the game late. So I think that just shows karma goes and karma comes. Just got to be good. Don't showboat. Just take your points.
Yep.
But Michael, what did you think about that game?
I didn't really get to watch it much, because I was just busy. But I looked at the game and Mac Jones played well, and that's really what I paid attention to.
That's all that matters to the former Pat.
Yeah.
Fans are just happy to see Mac Jones
succeeding.
I am happy to see Mac Jones succeeding because I think the Patriots did him significantly dirty when we had him for 3 seasons. I think he is a lot better of a quarterback than what the Patriots showed.
What about Drake May?
Drake May's better. I'm sorry. Mac Jones couldn't beat the Bills. And then when it came to playoff time, we got blown out by the Bills. So
he just beat the Rams. Are the Rams better than the Bills?
Nathan, come on now.
I think they're both good teams.
I think the Bills are better than the Rams.
It's definitely a conversation to be had.
It's a conversation, but it's a...
Chase, where do they rank in the top 10?
1. I put the Bills at 1. It was an extremely...
even after losing to the Patriots?
It's hard because the Eagles also lost, which is a game I could bring up that Eagles-Broncos game right now. It was probably the game I was going to talk because I didn't want to talk about the Charger game. Eagles-Broncos. The NFL is just kind of crazy right now. I feel like there's no set-in-stone dominant team. Like, I think there's a lot of teams that could end up winning the Super Bowl this year.
There's no more undefeated teams either.
No. Yeah, the Eagles, they were up 17-3. Bo Nix looked like he couldn't really do anything. Vic Fangio kind of had him in a cobra lock. But, little did we know the Eagles' offense was going to start struggling more than the Broncos' offense there. Something's just wrong with the Eagles on offense. They look out of sync. They're up 17-3, and they only give Saquon the ball one more time. Gave the Broncos an opening. Took them 3 quarters to figure it out, but the Broncos got their offense going. They go down the field, make it 17-10. They go down the field again. They go for a 2-point conversion to go up 18-17, and it was basically game from there. They got one more field goal to win 21-17, but going for two there, the Eagles weren't doing anything in the second half. So, yeah, big win by the.
That's what happens when you give Sean Payton his Drew Brees.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous about the Broncos as a Charger fan. We're both 3-2 now. We have the tiebreaker since we beat them earlier this year.
So far, do you guys have to go out to Denver left, or do they come home?
Yeah, we still got to go to Denver
That'll be
and
fair.
Kansas City.
Oh.
Not fun.
Ugh.
We beat both of them so
No,
far.
not ideal. The Chiefs do look susceptible. I would rather play the Chiefs right now than the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, and Chiefs looked all right. Some stuff didn't go their way in that Jags game, and they could have pulled it off. But now the Chiefs got the Lions and can easily be 2-4 after next week. So
basically, from the Chiefs Jags game, ball does not lie.
Yep.
That's my takeaway from that one.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
But Michael, did you watch any football game?
Was there a Sunday night game?
There was, in fact, a Sunday night game. Drake May's
Can you tell me when snow melts?
It melts in May, brother. It only melts in May. I finally, and I mean finally, for the first time in 5 weeks of NFL football, got to watch my Patriots play on live television on a primetime night, on a Sunday night, a cool October night in New York. And the Bills were all ramped up. It's a blizzard, my ass, because who the fuck cares, man? Drake May went up there and dialed the fuck in. Finally, the Patriots didn't give the ball away and give the game away, dude. I'm so happy that we did not turn the ball over to the point where we lose a game because of it. Ramondre Stevenson had a fumble. I got pissed off about that. I was like, I don't know why he's in there in the first place. But besides the point, Drake May threw for 273 yards. He was 22 of 30, only had 8 incompletions, 0 picks. The Patriots on third down conversion rates, Drake May plays damn near perfect. I think he's 18 of 19 for like 100 yards. So that's really cool. Another cool fact is that Drake May has continued his streak of throwing for 200 yards while also completing 75% of his throws. And the only other quarterback to do that through 5 weeks in the NFL, guess who? Tom motherfucking Brady, boys. So Drake May is in practically league history with the only GOAT. He's the only other one. He's the only other one with Tom Brady in 5 weeks, Nathan. Through 5 weeks, Drake May is the only other quarterback besides Tom Brady to accomplish that. And we still lost 2 games because our running backs can't hold the damn ball. But besides,
you probably want the Super Bowl to move to week 6 then, don't you?
Yeah, you're dang right, because right now the Patriots are above that little red line on the wild card for the first time in 3 years.
Say that I think that the Broncos or the Chargers have a better shot to make the playoffs than the Patriots do.
I think Chargers do, not Broncos.
I think both of them do.
I will say the Patriots have an easy schedule.
We have a very easy schedule.
I think when I was looking next, I think your guys' next 3 games are the Saints, Browns, Titans.
I've got it pulled up.
I don't.
Watch out, they could put Shador in next week for Cleveland.
That's not going to make a difference.
If it ever comes to a Patriots-Chargers playoff game.
I would love that. I'd love to show what our defense
talk to each other for a week.
No, we would. I'd just be shooting daily text. I'd shoot him 1 text Monday. When snow melt, Chase.
The Patriots are going to win the playoff game before the Chargers.
Michael, it doesn't snow in LA.
That's right, because it's May season all year round, baby. We also, for the next 5 games, we have the Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, and then the Bucs is the toughest out of those 5.
Falcons aren't no walk
if you're in Atlanta,
either.
Could lose that for sure.
It's at New England.
That'll help a little.
We're at Tennessee and
Only
at
a
New
little bit.
Orleans.
Only a little bit, Michael. You guys are about to get Bijan'd.
Oh, another thing I wanted to mention on that Patriots-Bills game is that Stephon Diggs had over 100 yards receiving while returning to Buffalo for the first time since he got traded. He didn't score a touchdown, but he had 10 receptions for 146 yards.
Stephon came
And
to play. You could tell he was ready. Like he
yeah.
showed up and
Oh,
he was excited to play against his former team.
After the game, he said it was more than personal for him on that because apparently he had some bad blood, and then obviously got released and traded.
If you
But
guys played the Bills every week, Stephon Diggs would be like the best wide receiver in the NFL.
dude, you're telling me Stephon Diggs needs to be playing like that all season long, and not just in Buffalo.
Yeah, you got to get him motivated enough.
Right. Well, and like the next two receivers below him was Hunter Henry for 2 receptions and 46 yards, and Kayshon Boutte for 3 receptions for 43 yards. So like Stephon Diggs was the primary target in that game. We didn't even really run the ball. We only had 71 rush yards. So it was just weird. Drake May never threw a touchdown in that game. Ramondre Stevenson ran for 2.
You got guys down there.
Yeah.
Well, and it was a big kicking game for our what's his name? Borigalis. I think that's how you say it. He was 3 for 3 and his longest was 52 yards. So he was dialed in as a kicker too. I initially thought when we went down 20 to 17, I kind of thought we were out of it. But obviously the Patriots proved me wrong and were able to go and get 2 more field goals to clutch it up. So, but with that, we'll move on to our final segment, and that is to address the NFL Week 6 games. Nathan, what's the game you'd like to address?
I think that the Niners are going to beat the Bucks this week. We're underdogs, and it's in Tampa. I don't think Brock Purdy's playing, which is okay, because Mac Jones showed he can deliver against a good defense in the Rams last week. My biggest question mark there is he going to be available? I know he was kind of hurt last week, and he played through it. You know, he really gutted out that performance, but I think that I want Purdy just to sit for as long as possible because he is the best quarterback in our room when he's healthy.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to.
It's not a knock to Mac.
No, and you definitely don't want to send him out there too early. Kind of like the
That's what we already
McCaffrey situation too.
McCaffrey's not hurt
from last year.
Yeah, well, and with any injury, you just never want to send a player back out into action when they're not ready for it, because usually that's what welcomes setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a doctor, and I just want him to come back healthy. I don't want him to mess around with it and end up like Joe Burrow, having to get surgery to repair it. So I think that the Niners, if Purdy plays, we win. Or sorry, not Purdy. If Mac Jones plays, we win. And if Mac gets hurt, then we get to see a little Adrian Martinez action.
Go Big Red.
And I'm telling any fellow Niner fan watching this, Adrian is not the worst thing that could happen.
He was like USFL MVP last year, whatever league he was in.
He can sling it.
You could have Jake
He's
Browning.
a good quarterback.
You guys could have Jake Browning.
He's mobile. I don't want Jake Browning, but Adrian Martinez is mobile.
I was more so comparing Adrian to Jake Browning.
Oh, yeah. I would rather take Adrian over Jake Browning. No offense to Jake. But I think that the Niners win. Not giving a score prediction on this one. Just take the money line.
You're the underdogs.
Yep, that's all I want. But the other game that I'd like to go with is I think that the Bengals are going to cover 14.5 against the Cowboys. The the Bengals are going to cover 14.5 against the Green Bay
Yep,
Packers.
there you
There
go.
you go.
Sorry about that. But it's just because 14.5 in the National Football League after you just acquired the infamous legend for saving seasons, Joe Flacco.
Who's also already beat the Packers this season as well.
Like, I don't know about you, but 14.5 is just too many.
With Jamar
I
Chase
don't think
and
that it
T.
happens.
Higgins to throw to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Brill has
there's no
receivers to
way.
throw to.
Flacco's better than Browning. Like, you got to think
Yeah,
they're going to get
Much.
something going.
100%.
They'll throw a deep ball to Chase
Mhm.
at some point.
On Flacco
Or
already beat the
or
Packers.
check down to T. Higgins.
And Flacco's already beaten the Packers this season.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even
Yeah, with the Browns.
think about it.
Mhm.
Flacco's already seen this Packers defense.
Yeah, he'll have a good idea of what to do, really. And with better wide receivers.
Yeah, way more
But
often.
those are my two picks. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Chasey.
I'm gonna go with another biased pick to start, but I'm gonna go with the Chargers this week. I've only given them out once on the show, and that was against the Broncos. 1-0 on that. Spread's 4.5. I think this is the get right spot for us. We match up well against the Dolphins. Their secondary is weak, and their pass rush is pretty bad. So even with our beat up offensive line, I think they'll be able to hold long enough to give Herbert enough time to find some QJ running down the sideline wide open or something because they don't have any safeties.
Is Hassan Haskins going to start for you guys, or is it Dival? What's
Yeah,
his
it'll
other
be like
name?
Vidal or Vidal, however you pronounce it. And Haskins will.
Vidal.
Vidal.
Haskins
I
will
picked
be
up
the more
Haskins on a
short yardage
waiver.
running back, and Vidal is a little more receiving back type.
It'll be interesting.
And where we've been getting beat these last 2 weeks on defense are by mobile quarterbacks. Jackson Dart kind of scrambling around, Jane Daniels scrambling around. Tua doesn't do that as much. They're without Tyreek Hill, his best offensive weapon. Even though the Dolphins have Devon Achane, they can't run the ball at all.
No, they can't.
And our pass defense, or the Chargers' pass defense, like the Huskers' pass defense, is really good. I think the Dolphins are going to struggle. We'll win by like 10.
Ooh, okay.
I
like it.
Their defense also isn't that great, considering the Patriots were able to put a lot down in Miami. A lot more than I thought we were going to put up. So, and I think your guys is, granted,
Herbert's better than May.
well, yeah, I already addressed that earlier, but
Is Purdy better than May?
Yes, Nathan, in my 10, I got to number 8 after having named Herbert and Purdy already up there, okay? This is not a Drake May conversation. We're talking about the Chargers here.
Just poking fun.
Ha 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 ha. Besides the point, I personally think the Chargers will beat the Dolphins as well because your guys' pass defense is just as good, if not a little bit better than the Patriots. And we beat the Dolphins with Tyreek as well. So that's even another downfall for Miami when they're playing against you guys too. So
yeah, and I'm not worried about their new up and coming tight end Darren Waller. Derwin James shuts down tight ends. So, and then the other game I like. I'm sorry, Michael, but
no, go ahead.
It's a little. It's a system play. I'm going to take the Saints plus 3.5. I think the Patriots are a little overvalued right now over a primetime Sunday night football win. I don't think they should be given 3.5 in New Orleans. Spencer Rattler is actually better than you think. If you look at like the PFF ratings, he's like ranked like 17th or 18th, which isn't necessarily high, but you would think he's more like 30th. They got some veteran guys on defense.
Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
And Kendry Miller.
Rashid Shaheed. He's a little speed.
Shaheed.
Maybe one of the best guys in the NFL.
And they've got Olave.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Rattler.
And Jawan Johnson.
Yep. I think Kellen Moore is a good play caller, so they got a good offensive mind calling the plays. And a lot of it's just with the line, too. it seems kind of short. Everyone's going to be betting the Patriots. I think the books know something that this game's going to be close. It's in New Orleans. They got a good home crowd. It's going to be loud for Drake May. I actually think the Patriots are going to win, but I think it's going to be less than 3.5.
Amen.
I'll take the Patriots 24-22 in a weird game.
Oh, I thought you said 24-20. I was like, that goes against what you were just arguing. But no, I just heard you wrong. But that is a perfect segue because we all know here I'm gonna pick the Patriots over the Saints for this game. I also have another pick I'm gonna make, but I'll talk about that later. Patriots go down to New Orleans, Louisiana. We went down there last year and we got shut out 30-0. Hopefully,
I did not know that.
yeah, we got blown out and did not score a single point last year against the Saints, and it was very rough.
Dang, that's terrible.
Why do you think
Their
Gerard Mayo?
defense isn't even that good.
Why do you think Gerard Mayo got fired?
Still Brissett.
It was Brissett.
May.
No, it was Brissett. Brissett started 4 or 5 games for us, and we played New Orleans, I think, second or third week of the season. But we got blown out 30-0, and I watched that game. It was brutal. But new year, new team. Pats are just coming off of beating the reigning NFL MVP. And we held a decent Bills offense to 20 points scoring. I personally don't think the Saints offense is better than the Bills. And it's another road game for the defense as well. So we've got Christian Gonzalez. He's going to lock down Olave. Olave is maybe going to get targeted twice, and he'll maybe have a catch for 14 yards. And I'm booking that. I'm locking it in.
You're calling your shots.
I'm calling my shots today.
I'm going to make sure to look up Chris Olave's stat line.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up too. I have him on my bench on a fantasy team, so I'll keep track of that stuff. I don't think he's going to have a game at all. Christian Gonzalez is only going to allow Chris Olave 2 targets, 1 catch for 20 yards. And I'm locking that in. I'm confident in Gonzo. He's been playing lights out all year.
He does it written down.
Yes, sir. But I think the Patriots cover. I think it was going to be 24-20. So I think it's still going to be close, but I don't think the Saints are going to cover. I can see as long as the Patriots don't turn the ball over 5 times, we should win this game handily. Knock on some...
It's not like they do that every game, right?
Shut up, Nathan! Knock on some wood for me, boys, please, because I am actively doing it as we speak. As long as we...
turnovers.
I'm aware of that. The Steelers forced some turnovers too, and that's how we lost that game. Same with the Raiders. The reason the Pats have
It's hard to win when you're giving the ball away.
The Patriots should be 5-0, and I will still believe that, and I will die on that hill. But who the fuck cares? It's week 6 of the NFL, and we're playing the New Orleans freaking Saints.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and go Saints.
Say that again. You want to say that again, Nathan?
Give me the Saints.
It's kind of a hard spot for the Patriots off an emotional win Sunday Night Football. They were just on the road. Now they're on the road again. I know the Saints were at home because I bet on them against the Giants, so I was paying attention to that game. They were just at home last week. They don't have to leave home.
Yeah. They also...
I am scared because Vrabel's a good coach, and I don't think he's someone that walks into these trap games and loses very often.
No.
So.
No, and he's got a pretty darn good Pats team going down there. Better off, right? I would say we are better off this week versus the Saints than we were last year, considering when we got blew out 30-0. And I didn't see that
I'd
coming
hope
last
so.
year.
I would hope that you were in a better
But like
spot this week.
our defense was a little bit better last year, at least versus the past game. At least because Gonzo was out, so we
He missed like the
had
first 2 weeks or something.
yeah. But I believe the Patriots are going to win this game and cover. Um, I'm excited to watch it, but I don't think it's going to be on my
You're
YouTube
so
TV.
pessimistic.
They're not putting the Patriots Saints on TV in
No.
Nebraska.
No, not it. I'm going to be in Arkansas Sunday, so
Oh,
I might
well,
get lucky.
you might get lucky. Arkansas doesn't have a pro team. They might be Saints fans.
Yeah, who knows? Fingers crossed, because it would be nice to see them on TV without having to pay for Sunday ticket. But before we let everyone go, I wanted to discuss one more game, and that was the Broncos Jets. I think Jets are gonna lose. Justin Fields has been struggling this year. Bo Nix just got done beating the Eagles last week, and the Eagles were undefeated. So the ability to have beaten the Eagles last week, and now you're gonna go play one of the worst or off teams in the league
Only
this
team you
year.
got to win.
Yeah. I think the Broncos are going to win that handily. I don't know what the spread for that game was. I
think
didn't
it's
catch it.
7.5.
I think it's like, yeah, I thought it was like 7.5, 8.
I just want to double check really quick. Gosh
Yeah,
darn.
I'm gonna go Broncos that game as well.
I
I
mean,
just like Bo Nix out there.
I can't see the Jets scoring much on the Broncos defense, really.
No, and they even have Brees Hall too, but like the Jets O line is
It's just Sean
it's
Payton.
bad.
It's Sean Payton knows defense.
It's also a London game too. The
Yep.
Jets haven't won on American soil. What makes anyone think they're going to win on foreign soil? They can't even win in their home stadium. Granted, they probably have one of the worst stadiums in the league, but
Yeah, their defense just they keep giving up tons of points. They just gave up 37 to the Cowboys.
and the Jets, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they had one of the better defenses a couple years ago, recently, like 2 years ago.
It wasn't bad. They've got some pieces out there, that's for
They
sure.
have
They've got
Sauce, but
Quinnen
he
Williams.
almost doesn't seem as good as he used to be
No.
when he hasn't even
No.
been in the league.
Sauce was more relevant a year or two ago versus this year.
And you were saying
Yeah.
Quinyon Williams, or is that his name? Williams?
Quinnen Williams,
He's really good.
the defensive tackle. Yeah. They traded away Bryce Huff to the Niners in the offseason, so they lost that pass rusher.
And has Justin he's been having trouble in the backfield because of that Jets O line, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not very good. I think I saw a stat that he's never won a game where the opposing team has scored 21 points or more.
Damn, that's
All you got to
crazy.
do is get to 21 against Justin Fields and you win every time.
I was gonna guess 28-17 for that game. Denver is favored -6.5, and the total for over/under is 43.5. So
I'll go.
I think their over/under is right around the total that I think it's gonna be, but obviously I also think it's gonna be a little. Hold on, I said 28-17. It'd be under. So just a little bit under though. But what do you think, Nathan? You like Broncos over Jets?
Yeah, I already said that give me the Broncos.
Oh, that was when I was looking up the spread. My apologies.
Yep. You're good.
You guys got anything else you'd like to tell the listeners before we go ahead and sign off for the evening?
Just make sure if you have any thoughts, any opinions, like, share, comment, and we can have discussions. Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Go Big Red. Have a great weekend.
Go Big Red.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe as well for more future content on the way. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thanks.